Martin shave tests. I picked up a beautiful, almost perfectly mint, new old stock Fram. This is a real treasure. It's one of my favourite types of manufacture. It's probably late 70s, early 80s. It's got Fram stamped on it. It's beautifully marked up. It's got Fram Solingen. It's got a lovely gold panel. It had just started its downward spiral into corrosion. Only just a couple of little speckles here and there. But one of the little speckles is on the edge. So although it is new old stock, tiny bit of corrosion, I thought, no, we'll get rid of it. Anyway, I had great success the other day by using this rather soft yellow Nagura stone to drive up a slurry on my only Jnat, which is, let me show you that box. Look at that. Isn't that a joy? Anyway, it is in fact a kanayama Asaski, and it was bought by myself 2022 and hardly ever use it. I'm not a great lover of Jnats. Anyway, we won't go into that. It's just the price of some of the stones does seem a little bit of an absurdity. However, I used on my last Jnat adventure, I used this, the soft one. Now let's try the hard one. This is of course the same stone. It is in fact an Asaski. So let's drive up a slurry with the Asaski and see what happens. Probably the lighting is weird today. It's high summer. Yeah. Strange noises. Anyway, I'm assuming this to be a very fine quality stone and doesn't really need an awful lot of slurry. I got a very healthy slurry from this, the soft stone, the other day. I'm not too sure about this. This is a bit adventures in strangeness. Anyway, yeah, there is a slight slurry building now. I won't whack on too long, guys, because I want to get on with getting an edge on this and then stropping it and then shaving with it with any luck. So let's call that a modest fine slurry. I don't think really it's doing very much, to be honest. I think I'd have been better using a little diamond plate to dry up a slurry instead of a self stone, but I don't know very much about Jnat, so I shall shut up. So there we have it, a very fine, and it is a very fine grey slurry. Hardly worth talking about, to be honest. Yeah, I think I should have used the soft Nagura, but whatever, all experiments. Right, on we go. Hopefully this will work. And here's the beauty. I should have taped the spine, but quite honestly, this is such a fine stone, I don't think it's going to really show. So I'm not going to tape anything. Normally, if I was using any form of coarser stone to remove, say, a fault, then you really do have to use tape on a nice NOS razor like this. I've got my little loop handy. It's a 40 magnification loop. It's enough to see any improvements. So let's have a talk about feel. Yeah, this does feel a very high grade of stone. It's very smooth. In fact, if I didn't know better, I'd say it was on an ultra fine. But anyway, let's have a look. 2 seconds. The other thing that I don't like is being a grey stone and a very fine stone, I can't really determine if there's any metal coming off at all. So, not ideal. Anyway, nail test coming up. Oh, yeah, that's done it. That has done it. That is really biting. Let's put on my little loop and see if I can see anything at all. There was, as I say, just a tiny trace of corrosion on the edge, just beginning, and now there's not. I honestly think that's all it took. Yeah, just wiped it away. Anyway, you've seen the depths of my ignorance. I'm not claiming to know very much when it comes to Jap stones, but I do know everybody else loves them. It's just I'm not prepared to pay the thousands and thousands and thousands to get a range of Japanese stones when I've had very good results from all our European and American and mostly Japanese synthetic stones, which are still the only reliable, really reliable way to take a coarse edge which has been damaged, probably a few chips, whatever, corrosion, to take a coarse edge back to being a shaveable edge. As you can see, I'm using two hands for the simple reason this is a very deep hollow grind, and you don't really want to put a lot of pressure on. And this is a big heavy stone, so I'm not going to do it one-handed. This is quite a big stone. But there we go. I think now we're ready to wash a lot of this slurry off, because there's no point going over and over and over again. Yeah, that will have replaced the original factory edge with this Japanese natural edge. Let's put a bit of water on it. So it's now going to be water only. See how that feels. Yep. Feels exactly the same. I think this is just to get the maximum potential out of the stone. It's sticky. Oh yes. That's sticking. So, I'm not saying I'm a great convert to Jnats, but I have had one very good result. I've had a few in the past which were good, but just not especially good. So we'll see what a NOS new old stock Fram feels like to shave with in a minute. So that, I think, is enough. Yeah, I think we're ready to strop it on a soft canvas strop. Old Mr. Naguri in Japan made some wonderful kanayama strops. Long story short, he didn't have anybody to follow him up. So now he got old, he retired, he died, and he had a son, but the son wouldn't take on the business. So we're now left with just a very small number of mint kanayama strops out there. I'd recommend, if you do want to spend money, get one. I've got two. Anyway, I think that part of this experiment is done. So I'm going to put this on pause and see if I can do some cunning recording upstairs on my strops.